Hi Raghav,
Hello, sir.
welcome on board to ClatPrep.
Thank you, sir.
So the AILET results are out
Yes, sir.
and you have secured all India rank 64.
Yes, sir.
How is the feeling?
Sir, I'm definitely feeling very good and leaves like it's hard work yielded some results.
You were a dropper
Yes, sir.
and you studied, in fact, you prepared for the last 6 months with us.
Yes, sir.
Being a regular student, you gave lot many mocks, you attended all the classes. So tell me one thing. First message which you would like to give those students who take a drop after 12,
Yes, sir.
and what message would you like to give to them कि ड्रॉप करने के बाद क्या स्ट्रेटेजी होनी चाहिए पढ़ने की, एट द सेम टाइम ड्रॉपर्स के लिए पॉसिबल है एलेट और क्लैट करना?
Yes, sir. Droppers के लिए definitely possible है लेट और फ्लैट करना. मैं ड्रॉपर्स को यही कहना चाहूँगा कि वो स्टार्टिंग से एकदम एफर्ट्स कंसिस्टेंटली पुट करते रहे, जिससे एंड में उनकी जर्नी बहुत ईजी हो जाएगी. कोई पैनिक नहीं रहेगा. आपके स्कोर्स कंसिस्टेंटली आएंगे, आपको रिजल्ट देगा तो आपको भी अच्छा फील होगा. एंड देन यू विल बी कॉन्फिडेंट इन योर एग्जाम व्हिच मैटर्स अ लॉट.
ओके,
Yes, sir.
सो राघव, you were serious right from the beginning?
Oh yes, like my performance was inconsistent for a while, but then it smoothed out in the last 2 months or so.
ओके, सो डू यू एक्चुअली फील दैट शुरू में जो आप मॉक्स दे रहे थे उसमें के स्कोर्स इनकंसिस्टेंट थे,
Yes, sir.
सो यू फेल्ट डीमोटिवेटेड समटाइम्स?
A little bit, sir. But when you don't score well in later mocks, it's definitely more disheartening.
Okay, so your scores started to improve in the later mocks,
Yes, sir.
and what did you do for that?
So I won't say that I ramped up my study hours a lot, like in the end 2 months. It was more about optimization, like what I did, except studying. Like instead of like in my free time, I didn't do stuff that distracted me, like drained my mind, like some things that kept me relaxed, like not scrolling through social media and instead listening to songs and stuff.
Oh, this is a very, very important point. So tell me one thing. Can listening to music is your hobby?
Yes, sir.
So what we usually communicate to the students that you should always give at least 1 hour for yourself.
Yes,
So this
sir.
worked for you?
Yes, sir. No, I like used to listen to music like in between breaks, like after a 1 hour or 2 hour session of studies, just to relax myself.
Okay. So initially when you started your preparation, how many hours a day did you devote?
Like I planned to study a lot, but then I started falling off at the start, which was a mistake. Like I only studied for like 4 or 5 hours.
Okay. Then?
Then after that, like in the last few months, I ramped it up, like steadily kept it increasing my study hours. And then like as the mocks increased, the study load increased, GK started piling up, so I had to increase my study hours to cope up with that one.
Okay. So in the last 3 months, you said that you actually boosted up your study hours. So how many hours a day on an average?
8 to 9 hours. Sir.
8 to 9 hours. Okay. On an average, what would be your score in AILET? AILET mocks which you appeared here.
Definitely 80%.
Every time it was 80 plus?
Not like average was 80 for sure, but not every time 80.
Okay.
Like the same thing again, like my first two mocks were in that grade, but in the last year, I finished my scores.
Okay, great. So how did you analyze the mocks?
So like you have to basically go through every section, every question again, even if you got it right, which helps a lot because like sometimes you're confused between two options and then you mark the answer, but then when you are checking it, you see the that your question is right, so you skip it. But the reasoning of that question also helps a lot in getting right what you did right in that time.
Okay. So you mean to say that while doing the analysis of the mocks, it is equally important to go through the right answers as well, whatever right answers you have already given, but then going to the explanation of each and every question
Yes, sir.
makes
Definitely,
sense.
sir. Yes, sir.
It is effective. Okay, great to know that. So अब राघव मुझे ये बताओ कि क्लैट का रिजल्ट भी आने वाला है
Yes, sir.
और आई होप दैट उसमें भी आपके कुछ पॉजिटिव होप्स होंगे.
Yes, sir.
तो क्लैट के बारे में तो चलो हम बाद में बात करेंगे, क्लैट के बारे में अभी
जी,
बात
सर.
नहीं करेंगे, बट ये जो 6 मंथ्स की जर्नी थी उसमें आपने काफी अप्स एंड डाउन्स देखे,
Yes, sir.
and you must have realized your areas of strength and areas of weakness.
Yes, sir.
So let's come to that point now. What was your most weakest section?
Definitely GK, sir.
GK.
Mainly because I wasn't consistent from the start. That's why.
So how did you overcome it?
So basically, I studied from like the important topics, started studying from the credible sources from the coaching institute, and like kept my sources limited, and then started revising what I studied. So my retention was up.
Okay. And what was your strongest area?
English and CR, sir.
English and CR.
Yes, sir.
and I believe that the scores in the AILET exam also justified that.
Yes, more or less, sir.
Okay. So were you able to capitalize on the two sections?
Yes, sir. Like CR was pretty unpredictable, but I think I did well considering how it was. English, I definitely could have done better.
Okay, great. Raghav,
Yes, sir.
so working on your strength and overcoming your weakness. So what do you think that what is the right point wherein you should overcome your weakness?
We should start working for the start, sir.
Working from the start.
Yes, sir.
So Raghav, if you look at the paper pattern this year,
Yes, sir.
AILET has always been a element of surprise, and nobody can predict what would be the pattern of paper next year as well.
Yes, sir.
So now tell me, when you took the paper, what did you feel? What was the first feel of the paper?
Like when I saw the paper at the start, I was like, what was going on? Like first attempt GK, and it's like from questions 50 to 80. But then I started going there, and they were in the GK wasn't there because it was at the end. So first I started attempting GK because that was my strategy. Then I was thinking of going to English because that's what I do. In 8 months, that was my strategy, which I was comfortable with. But after a few passages, I realized that the English and CR sections were merged from the same passage. So I started taking everything all together.
So English and CR, they used to be different sections every time, and in the mocks also probably you practiced in the same manner.
Yes, sir.
But when the AILET paper turned up, and when you saw that English and CR, they were actually belonging to the same passage. So did you get any kind of panic, or you were able to overcome that?
When I realized that, I was like, it was actually a good thing because at the start I thought the passages were lengthy, they were only for English. But then when I realized for both of them, then I felt like you can do that, like 12 questions from one passage, so it's not that much reading.
So coming to this point, what message would you like to the students who would be appearing for AILET next year? Because it is quite possible that they also come across a paper which is totally different,
Yes, sir.
which it appeared this year or maybe which was conducted the previous years.
Yes.
So what message would you like to give to them?
So apart from the basic stuff, you should be very flexible in your strategy. Like that will help a lot. And you should keep yourself calm and analyze the paper like how it is from the start. That would also help a lot. Like what you should do. You should try to formulate a plan on the spot after seeing the paper.
Okay. All right. So Raghav, this was a very good and interactive section with you.
Yes, sir.
And I believe that whatever light you have thrown on the AILET pattern and the preparation strategy, the takeaways from this session will be taken up by the students who will prepare for AILET next year, and probably implementing them will help them.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for the session, Raghav. Thank you. All the best.